This is the calm before the storm. I don't know what it is, man. We are in a really good spot as Montreal Canadiens fans because of some of the recent info that was revealed earlier this morning. Now, the name that is on the screen, the name that was in the title, that is in the thumbnail, the guy whose presence you clicked on this video to be informed about, this guy right here, Jordan Kyrou of the St. Louis Blues. He has been linked to the Montreal Canadiens. That's not new, right? Even before the free agency period began on July 1st, during the end of the draft days, we were already seeing a buzz about the Montreal Canadiens and Jordan Kyrou. But when his trade protection kicked in on July 1st, the idea was tossed out there that, hey, okay, he's done. He's not going to be traded anymore. He has the option to stay. He has control. He's He-Man. He has the power! But, I'm starting to get a little bit of Olivia Rodrigo deja vu over here because the Montreal Canadiens, of course, they already made one big trade with the New York Islanders this offseason. Noah Dobson headed over to the Habs, right? But the biggest part about that Dobson trade was that he wanted to go to Montreal. He had a say, in some respect, as to where he would be comfortable signing long-term, and at only $9.5 million a year. Dobson had that control. It was reported that he would be okay with Montreal. He went to Montreal, and he signed for a lot cheaper of a dollar amount contract compared to what he was asking for with the Islanders and even the Blue Jackets. Now, today, we have ourselves some more conversations on Jordan Kyrou, and it all comes to us via Maxime Truman. Now, Truman, he does stuff for Dans les Coulisses, he does stuff with Marco D'Amico and BPM Sports Talk Radio. You're probably familiar with Truman and his body of work. He published this article earlier this morning that we are going to dive into today. It's a French article that I translated to English via the Google machine. Here's an exclusive from danslescoulisses.com. Jordan Kyrou would agree to be traded to the Montreal Canadiens. It's July 8th, 2025, Truman writes. Yes, right now, we can say that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton made some good moves during the summer, but that they still haven't found what the team lacked the most, a second-line center and some grit. Except I repeat myself, it's only July 8th, and the season will begin at the beginning of October. Several insiders are repeating that Kent Hughes is not finished shopping, and that he is probably the most active GM in the Bettman circuit currently. And that's exactly what Truman has been told over the past few hours. Kent Hughes reportedly still has one target at the top of his shopping list, which is, of course, Jordan Kyrou. However, according to excellent sources close to the case, Kyrou's agent would have asked his client in recent days if Kyrou would agree to lift his no-trade clause to come to Montreal, in the event that a transaction was completed between the Blues and the Canadiens. Kyrou's answer, of course, yes. Word is, Jordan Kyrou would waive his trade protection to go to Montreal, and I don't know if it's just the way the article is written or if this is really the main feeling behind the waiving idea, but it seems like Kyrou would very enthusiastically waive his trade protection to come to Montreal. What does this mean? Truman asks. The comprehensive no-trade clause that came into effect on July 1st means nothing. It wouldn't block a potential trade. Therefore, the date of July 1st, identified as a deadline for any trade involving Montreal, no longer holds. I was also told that Nick Suzuki and Jordan Kyrou know each other, that they have the same agent, and that they have discussed Montreal over the past few days. Oh my gosh, that's even more news. What the hell? Suzuki and Kyrou, buddies, talking it up. Hey, what's it like playing in Montreal? Oh, it's pretty good. I'm the captain to this team after all. We got a good squad. We got some good guys. You want to come over? He's like, yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Now, this is really funny because the way everybody was talking about July 1st, it was sort of like, oh yeah, that's the deadline. If the Montreal Canadiens want to grab Kyrou, they got to trade for him before July 1st, or else his trade protection's going to kick in and he's not going to be able to go anywhere. But now, I'm kind of feeling it's like the opposite. In a way, July 1st was the date that Montreal needed to wait for before getting ultimate control in this situation. Because the way I'm thinking about it now, imagine there are a bunch of teams that are going out there and vying for the services of Jordan Kyrou. And for good reason. 27 years old, signed on till 2031, $8.125 million. Decent cap hit, but he provides like 70 points a year, so you could say he's definitely worth it. Imagine there are a bunch of NHL teams all fighting for the services of Kyrou, and before July 1st, he can get traded to any one of them. After July 1st, however, he has control. And if he were to be traded to Team X, Team Y, Team Z, he has the ability to say, no, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there, and I don't want to go there. But Montreal, he would waive for. So all of a sudden, it's almost like the Canadiens have leverage in this situation because it's like, yeah, St. Louis, you're thinking about trading this guy? Okay, you're going to ask him to waive? Well, guess what? He wants to come here, baby. He wants to come to our team. You can do your negotiating with Detroit. You can do your negotiating with any of these other squads. But if he doesn't want to waive for them, you're crap out of luck. But he'll waive for us. So, yeah, you got no choice but to send him over here, right? Nick Suzuki is his buddy, and he's chatting it up with Suzuki, talking about Montreal. He's already getting the inside scoop as to what it's like to play for Martin St. Louis, and his buddy Zach Bolduc's already here, too. This article says that Kyrou plays the wing, but he was trained as a center. He is right-handed. Yeah, the Canadiens still need a left-handed center. And no, he is not extremely effective in the faceoff circle, but he would still be an option as second-line center. If only until Michael Hage arrives. Oh man, I'm thinking about that. That would be crazy. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Kyrou, Demidov, Hage, with Laine on the third line if you assume you keep him. But wow, that's pretty good. Why would the Blues actively seek to trade a guy who is close to 40 goals a year? From what I've heard, it seems like Kyrou, the team's highest earner at $8.125 million, has hit a ceiling, and guys like Jimmy Snuggerud, Jake Neighbors, and Justin Carboneau will be able to fill Kyrou's shoes better, and possibly for less money. At least for several years. Why hasn't a deal been completed with the Canadiens yet? From what I hear, the Blues hold David Reinbacher and Michael Hage in very high regard, but Kent Hughes won't trade either of those two guys. Additionally, adding a guy like Kyrou, even in a trade for a guy like Matheson, could pose a salary cap problem, or at least severely restrict the Canadiens' management in terms of the club's accounting flexibility. Hopefully Kent Hughes will pull another rabbit out of his hat because Kyrou is a lot more interesting than Veleno or Kuznetsov. Yeah, I know that we made the video about Evgeny Kuznetsov yesterday. That'll be, posted about here. It was literally this one. That got 10K views. A lot of folks going out there and checking out the conversations on Kuznetsov, of all people. But, hey, it's true. Jordan Kyrou would be a much better option, I would say. So with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this new scoop? Jordan Kyrou would waive for Montreal. There would be interest here coming back to the Habs. Does this change the likelihood in your mind that Kyrou gets traded at all? And that likelihood as to whether or not he gets traded to Montreal specifically. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a St. Louis Blues fan, what are your opinions on Jordan Kyrou potentially getting traded? Do you agree with the sentiment that Carboneau, Neighbors, these guys could fill his shoes for better and cheaper? Do you think a trade with Montreal is inevitable? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.